hit producer Jermaine Dupri seems like he got himself into a lot of trouble recently. When he did this interview and went into detail about the publishing and splits of one of his artists, Kris Kross. Yeah, definitely didn't go the way he thought it was going to go. Let's check this out. I'm going to give my honest opinion and use my music knowledge and experience to actually dive into the truth.
Can you give us an example? You got a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like, I'm 100% writer, right? So like, say for instance, like Kris Kross' first album, or Kris Kross all of the album, I wrote. But the first album, I wrote everything on the album and produced everything on the album. So therefore, that's 100%. I like, therefore, I get 100% of every piece of the pie that's coming when it's publishing, right? So that's what I'm saying. So soon as Kris Kross sold 2 million, it was $1 million at my door.
$1 million from the.
But they sold 2 million. They sold 2 million records like in like 2 weeks.
From publishing, just from publishing, it was $1 million.
Yeah, it was $1 million already. Like it's like they say it's in the pipe. They call it like, you know what I mean? It's in the pipeline. So once you start selling records like that, the money, the people, everybody know the money is there. Right? So then people just start showing up like, yo, I'll give you, you know what I mean? If you, let's do 50% of your publishing, we'll give you $1 million advance. That's what advances start, because they can see the money. But that's what I'm saying. Like and by the way, this is just what I'm saying. You make me want 100%, nice and slow, 100%.
So, okay. I mean, everybody that you wrote for and produced for wasn't on your label, but the people that was on your label, if you own the label and you get in the masters, and then you write the music and you get in the publishing, and then you produce the music, so you're getting all the money.
You don't get all the money. But what else is there to get? I mean, but by the way, you get a significant amount of money. A large, but you get a significant amount of money. You don't get all the money. But I'm saying at the same time, what's funny with me is that when I be hearing people talk about contracts and this, that, and the third, the contract states what you get. You know what I'm saying? The contract don't state you're going to get jerked. The contract states exactly what you get. That's why you're supposed to give your contract to somebody and let them look over it. And then you give that contract back to the person that you're talking to. And it's supposed to say what you want from that person.
Well, what's your thoughts on that? Because I always feel like, for the most part, there's no such thing as a bad deal.
Yikes, that looks horrible, right? A lot of people are saying that he stole from them kids. The artist that he had was Kris Kross. They were young teenagers when he signed them, if I'm not mistaken. Did he? I'm not defending him. I just want us to open the discussion before we decide, right? A lot of people, they don't know the background to the music industry, so they misunderstand certain things. Artists don't make money from publishing. Let me say that one more time. The rapper, the singer, they're not making their money from publishing unless they wrote or produced it, which means that the producer and the songwriters, that's how they get majority of their money, publishing and royalties, right? Now, if you did not write the song and you didn't produce the song, how are you expecting to receive any of that? Don't worry, I'll wait. A lot of artists, they broke as hell and got like 20 songwriters and 30 producers on their project and wonder, what? When I was young, yes, I ended up having a songwriting and production deal when I was like 16. And a lot of crooked things happened, but it caused me to learn very fast, right? Very fast. And the reason why I even wanted to get more into production and songwriting is because I realized that's where the money goes. That's what the person who's creating it, you're getting a cut. So let's flip it, right? Let's think of it like the movie industry. If you directed a movie and then you also wrote the movie, people gonna be like, you get most of the money. You stole from the actor. Nigga, what? The actor coming in just playing their part. They didn't write the script. They didn't direct the movie. They didn't help distribution. None of these things. Why should the actor receive the majority or any cuts of like certain things unless they're so big that they can put their stamp on it and be like, no, I'm getting it cut. So Jermaine Dupri can't do that to Beyonce. Beyonce gets credit for songs and publishing that she did not write. Beyonce would say, yeah, I wrote Irreplaceable. Meanwhile, the whole demo of the track, you can find it online from a male singer named Neo who wrote that. Wrote it, he'll tell you his inspiration. But Beyonce was like, I think you should write me a song about a breakup. She gets a cut. That's the way the industry works. So I think he's going to even go into detail, Jermaine Dupri, of how other people was taking money off of his cut. But when you are the writer and the producer of it, yes, you get all, if not just most, of the publishing. Right now, if he was taking tour money and things along those lines and even more, I'd be like, yes, he was wilding out. But these are just kids that just knew how to dress, that would fly. They had a bunch of girls following them when they walked in the mall. They didn't know how to write. They didn't even know how to rap. He had to teach them. They didn't know how to produce. He had a whole project fully done. Just say, hey, learn this, and then we're going to re-record it. Yeah, he's going to get most of the publishing. Where he made the mistake is he started talking about contracts and, well, you know this and this. You're bugging. Now that you should have just explained how publishing works, how royalties work, because I didn't even go super deep into it, right? I didn't go super deep. Now, you know how many songs I produced that an artist that signed, used, and then I received either none or the smallest amount of money? Because the other producers that worked on it had a bigger name. And I'm like, nigga, but I made 95% of that. You added a filter. But yeah, the industry is pretty disgusting right now. Did he steal? I'm going to say he took advantage of a system, maybe not even the artists themselves, but of a system for sure. He took advantage of that. That's why I'm telling you, a lot of artists learn, okay, this is how things go. I'm going to create it all myself. There's a reason why independent rappers like Russ makes way more money than a rapper that's signed to a major label that has 30 different producers on one song. I thought I was right up. Check the credits. I feel like I'm the only person that check credits now. There's so many artists where you look at the damn credits of their songs, they got like 5 names, and these are rappers. That means other people was writing their work. Sometimes for the sample too as well. But anyway, it wasn't clean, but I don't know if it's as dirty as what people are saying. Not trying to shoot him any bell. You know what I mean? But if you produce and write the whole song, then yeah, you're going to be making most of the money from it.
And producing their first album and being 100% writer. The comments in this about this is crazy. I seen people saying I took advantage of the Chris's. I seen people saying I finessed them. I seen people calling me a predator. Man, I seen people say you should blame the parents for letting me do what I did to the Chris's. And the shit just keeps going on and on and on, right? I need all of you niggas that's saying all of this shit to come to the front of the congregation right now. Come down here and sit. We're going to unpack this right now. So just so y'all clear, I want y'all to hear me really, really good. There was a time in Atlanta when young kids didn't want to rap. There was a time in Atlanta when young kids didn't even have an idea that they could become rappers. There was a time in Atlanta when a young producer went to a mall and met 2 kids that weren't even a group. They was just 2 kids. I saw them and I said, yo, what y'all do? And the 2 kids told me nothing. And I keep saying 2 kids because I want y'all to understand they was just 2 kids. They had no idea that there was a group. I decided y'all should be a group. They had never been to the studio. They had never had a thought to be a group. They never wanted to be a group. They weren't running around Atlanta with a demo tape trying to shop it. They was just in the mall being cool kids. And I'm sure in the world that we live in right now, it's hard for y'all to even imagine that this is what life was. But this is what life was in Atlanta. These two kids that told me they did nothing went from meeting me at Greenbrier Mall, telling me they did nothing, to becoming millionaires before their 15th and 16th birthday.
There's probably going to be a lot of people saying I'm defending him, right? And no, especially after this portion right now that I'm about to do. Definitely not. I understand what he is pretty much presenting and saying that he was able to do for these kids and help them and change their lives and make them stars and all these things. But when you take a majority of the money, because you wrote and produced the damn track, you're taking most of the money, it's not as if you're saying or that you're doing something that's super huge for these kids, because they could have went back to being broke right after that album. You're like, especially when you brought up the contract part too, that's where it's like really like, I guess you could say predatory. Yes, if you wrote and produced the tracks, you deserve 100% of the publishing. I agree with that. That's why I went through that whole explanation in earlier. But if you really did care about these kids and wanted them to, change their lives, you would have taught them how to write. Explain to them this is how most artists make money. Maybe even taught them how to produce as well. And then that way, they would have been able to, have longevity when it comes to their finances. And I think that's what people are saying was very predatory. Like, instead of teaching them, you was just like, I'm going to take all the money. I'm going to take it all. That's a little crazy. I ain't going to front, right? If they say themselves, I don't even want to waste my time writing. Yeah, you could do it all, whatever. Then okay. But if they were willing to learn how to write, then yeah, teach them. Like, if you really care about them, teach them how to fish. Don't just bring them a fish and be like, y'all can have this 1/10 of it. No, teach them a way where they can get 50% to even 100% of the damn fish.
Rough House signs Kris Kross. Now, Rough House signs Kris Kross. Kris Kross is not signed to Jermaine Dupri's production company or Jermaine Dupri's record company, because Jermaine Dupri don't have no record company. Jermaine Dupri is a nobody. So it's no So Def, and they're not signed to So Def Productions. I get these guys a record deal with Rough House Records, and you know how much money I got from that record deal? Nothing. So Kris Kross got paid before I even saw a dime. For anybody out there asking how much money did they make, they got paid in advance as artists, whatever their artist deal was. I don't even know what their deal was. I wasn't part of it. They got an artist deal. They got signed to a record company. They got paid. This was prior to me making any money off these guys. We go in the studio, we start writing, we do what we do. I make Jump, send Jump to Rough House, boom, everybody go crazy, put the song out. The song goes, I think, gold in a week. It was platinum the second week. It was double platinum in the third week or some shit like that. Kris Kross started doing shows everywhere. Boom, shows everywhere. They blowing up. The box is going crazy. Kris Kross. They start selling merchandise. And Kris Kross started making $1 million to damn near $2 million a week in just merchandise. You know how much money I got from that? Nothing. I still ain't got paid. Mind you, just listen, I still ain't got paid. The record's out. It's doing good. I'm feeling good because I know I got a hit. You know what I mean? The record's #1, but I ain't got no money like that. I'm not making that type of money. They doing shows. They're doing shows every day, every whatever. I'm not making I ain't getting no show money. They get bigger. They keep getting bigger, blah, blah, blah. They get more shows. They go on tour. They making more money, merchandise. They doing all kind of things. I'm not making nothing from any of that. So y'all, to the people out there that was in the back, y'all come to the front. You asked how much money did Kris Kross actually make? I just told you they was making what I got, the little check I got from EMI. They was making that a week in merchandise. Are y'all paying attention? Are you hearing me? Y'all telling me that I took advantage of them because somebody came and gave me a $1 million check. $1 million. But I finessed them. And I did everything. And I did all of this shit with two niggas, little niggas, that told me they didn't do nothing. And they became millionaires before their 15th and 16th birthday.
I'm telling you, where he messed up, his biggest mistake in this part is starting to argue about the contracts and things along that line, especially if they weren't even signed to you as a label. That you should have just explained the publishing. Did you want to keep it a secret? Do you want people to notice, oh, wait a minute, he writes most of the stuff for all the artists that he signed? Was that the biggest problem of what made Lotto not want to sign? In case y'all didn't know, she won a TV show where I guess the prize was signed into his record label. And I think she might have been one of the few that turned it down. And she became extremely successful on her own. But anyway, tell me what you guys think down in the comment section. Hit the like button and the hype button. Share the video and watch more videos, man. Trying to get back on the grind.